Good evening, Speed Gaming. Welcome to semifinals for SGL 2025 Mystic Quest Randomizer Tournament. We've got 10 versus Ultimastrike tonight. We've got Wildham tracking for us, and I'm joined in the booth by Possum Morpheus. Possum, how's it going?
Hey, that's me. It's going well. I appreciate it, Potato. I hope you are doing well also, and I'm excited for a heck of a match between two runners who, leading up to this particular tournament, practiced a lot together and did a lot of pickup races.
Yeah, both of them very, very familiar with the different kinds of things that these seeds are going to throw at them. Tonight we're looking at 21 shards needed for our first race, so pretty quick potential as far as that goes. We have seen them spread out pretty hard to find on even lower shard count seeds, but definitely towards the low end of what can generate on these.
Yeah, and also worth noting this is for the runners, these semifinals, they have both won 2 matches to get to this point, but they have really gotten here in different ways. 10 was able to dispatch both of his opponents in the round of 16 and the round of 8, 2-0, so clean sweeps getting through, easy breezy. Ultima, on the other hand, they made it as hard on themselves as possible to get here. Losing game 1 in the round of 16, losing game 1 in the round of 8, winning games 2 and 3 in both of those rounds as well to get to this point. So could not have had a harder path to get here on Ultima's side. And you are very familiar with that, as you were one of their opponents, Potato.
Yeah, Ultimastrike has put in so much practice. I was definitely overmatched, I think, going in. It certainly showed off, I think, some very smart routing choices on sort of focusing more high density locations and ignoring a lot of one-off boxes, which has certainly become a strategy for a lot of the runners here. Not full clearing areas and really kind of beelining some of the denser spots if they can, so that they can get those shards out of the way, because ultimately shards is your only real go mode item.
Yep, that is true. And speaking of shards, we have 0 of them, but we do have a Kaylee, we have a Mount Gale, a Pazuzu's Tower, a Volcano, a Foresta. Looks like on 10's side we are just shotgunning the companion checks. I see a Tristram there. Tristram gets Meteor at level 6, which is immediate. So immediate, you might say. Phoebe, we might be looking for later with White and Flare at level 16 and 18. Ruben gets level 14 Exit, which could be relevant. Kaylee is not going to be participating in the seed outside of this very brief, we'll say, adventure she got to go on for about the first 30 seconds of the seed.
They dropped her off at home, picked up Tristram, definitely the better companion on these flags tonight. 2 usable spells right off the gate, because he does also start with Thunder at 4. So they're not going to have any problem really getting through any of these encounters, probably. We didn't start with a great starting weapon for Benjamin with that claw, but it does enable access to some areas that the runners will be happy to have it for and not have to worry that they're going to have to fade things like lava dome checks.
A couple of developments. First of all, the claw is not actually that bad in this situation because it inflicts sleep, and sleep goes to stone with the shuffle tonight. So could be somewhat relevant. Pretty much not going to be super relevant, but is what it is. Meanwhile, Ultimastrike found jumbo bombs chilling on Volcano. That's going to make the early game sweep much easier. And 10 found himself a sun coin on the rope bridge. That is fine, but also awful.
Yeah, not really the area you want to be routed to early. The enemies there are all going to be late game enemies, and even with you know, some insignificant abilities, are going to take way more time to get through than you want, and probably going to cause a few wipes.
Yeah, other things worth highlighting here as we get started, while we still have some time, since, you know, there's not a ton happening here, just going to blow up a couple early enemies, pick up a few early items. Earth is coming off of Axe, so Meteor will be unresisted. Fire is coming off Holy, so it will be unresisted. Air and Projectile swapped, so we have a lot of options versus birds, but we don't really have anything that's going to deal bonus damage. Water rolling to Axe, kind of meh. So, like, the runners are going to have unresisted stuff for Dark King, but they're going to have to get to Dark King. This might actually be a little bit easier of a Dark King than you would normally see otherwise, based on the fact that we'll have unresisted damage with Meteor, Flare, and White. That's not commonly seen on these flags, that you're able to use everything.
Yeah,
Our
you're
runners
usually
did pick
limited
up Gaia
to
Armor,
one.
though. That's cool for
Yeah.
them. Go ahead,
Oh
Potato.
yeah, very nice to have one of the late game armor pieces taken care of early. The resist it gives in the defense, you know, it can't be overstated, I think, especially with resist shuffles and things like that. Also, the noble armor right next to it, that's pretty funny. You don't need both. But yeah, it's nice to have all your damage options for Dark King. Then no matter what spell the runners pick up along the way, they're not going to feel the need to really hunt another one, probably, because all of them are going to do max damage. And then whichever companion you decide to bring, that spell is also going to be, you know, unresisted, like you said, be it Meteor with Tristram or White Flare with Phoebe.
Yeah, it looks
Got
like
a
both
nice...
looks like both runners done with Volcano. 10 just taking one extra encounter and getting his last box here, while Ultimastrike is going to be off over to Pazuzu's Tower. Pazuzu's Tower and Volcano are two staples of the Foresta region in this tournament. Just a lot of boxes you can get to without too much struggle. You might get walled in Pazuzu's Tower with a Dragon Claw being required, but by and large, you can get to the vast majority of things in there. So not going to be too much of a struggle for our runners to find some early items. But looks like 10 might be saying, I have this Sun Coin,
Yeah.
and let me just go leverage this. Maybe this is something, knowing my opponent, they don't have. So we shall see if that turns out to be an advantage or not.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Oh, yeah, but then there we go on Ultimate side, picking up both the Mobius Crest and the Sand Coin out of this P-Tower dive. So 2 items, you know, going to unlock access to a much easier area to clear through, potentially. And the Mobius Crest potentially being important. We've seen, you know, we've got Crest Shuffle on as well as Expert Logic, and we've certainly seen a number of seeds that have required sort of backdoor access to Fireburg or another city to get to that third region.
Worth noting, the Wintry Temple there does have a Mobius Crest warp, and it is gating Phoebe, who is hiding there. So if our runners ultimately want to get that Phoebe, they are going to need that Mobius Crest.
Yep. This Windy region, I guess thankfully probably, doesn't have any dungeons in it, it looks like. It's just a couple battle tiles, a town, nothing that's going to require a lot of time here, but then 10's going to have to make a decision on where to find whatever other progression item is out there waiting for him, because he'll know one is.
Based on everything he's found, which is a hot pile of steaming garbage so far, he's just going to have to go back to Pazuzu's Tower.
Yeah. Yeah, we do have, what's that blue pip over there? One more place to check. Level Forest could have some stuff, could get some free seeds here, which I'm sure 10 wouldn't be sad to see. Nope, just heal pods. Ah, but a Libra Crest.
Yeah.
I missed all the warps he's seen, so I don't know if he has seen a Libra Crest to use. It doesn't look like it if he's heading back. But yeah, likely to end up in that Pazuzu's Tower and get that sun, or sand coin that Ultimastrike has and have to make a decision then.
Yeah, worth noting, this Pazuzu's tower has been awful outside of the Sandcoin and Mobius Crest. There's been nothing to report home about, which is why we haven't been reporting on Ultimastrike's activities in the tower. So, yeah, it's fairly interesting how barren the early game has been for both runners, despite having lots of stuff to do.
Yeah, we did see it look like, I think, 2 more red boxes at least gated behind the Dragon Claw in that Pazuzu's tower that Ultimastrike spied on floor 1 but didn't have access to, or at least didn't find access to. Pazuzu tower can be super confusing as far as how to get to the various rooms that you are able to see, I think.
Oh, interesting. We have an early dive from 10 for XP. What is he trying to get on Tristram? Excuse me.
Exit.
Exits
I know that's
19.
way up there. Yeah. 6 levels. You know, maybe just he's here. If he's gonna go check the box anyway, take the enemy. I don't know, and get the XP now while he can.
Yeah, that's spooky though, because ninjas are faster than Tristram. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, he smartly made a save, so can just, say no. No, thank you.
Not even going for the item. Looks like he was just going there for XP.
That is, so most of the game is in the Fireberg region or behind Wakewater. We just saw Ultimastrike peak the 2 areas he has access to, and it looks like Wintry Cave in a town is all that's over in Aquaria. So the River Coin area, the Fireberg region, looks like it's going to be the place to be.
And interestingly, we see Ultimastrike also going Windier region first. And picking up that elixir as well. We knew that both the elixir and the tree wither have been found. Here's the fun part: NPC checks are off on this flag set, so like those could give you seeds, but they're not going to give you any progression. So our runners aren't going to bother with that.
Yeah, not worth the time to do those checks. Really, they are not really on path in any sort of way that you're going to want to bother to deal with.
And I believe we've seen 2 Gemini crests.
That was that not a? I believe that was a Libra crest in Cave.
Oh, was it?
Not? I thought so, which is interesting that 10 did not go back to that when leaving the Windier region. I could have misseen it for sure. The runner's so fast going in and out of those areas.
I trust your eyesight better than mine.
I don't know if I would do that. I'll be honest. Do not have the best eyesight. We'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. If Ultimastrike does get that Libra crest and goes back in there, because I believe it was over in Level Forest, which is the only thing else here to do in the Windier region. The game very sparse on stuff for the runners up front, which is interesting. You know, we saw only 21 shard count, but you know, so far we've got a handful and not a lot of places to find a bunch.
Okay, it must be a Libra crest then, yeah, because we see Ultimastrike going right back for it. Yep. And that's not helpful.
Boat. Unfortunately, we don't have the boat unlocked for the runners yet. I'd love to see it if the game somehow puts a bunch of stuff on boat that these runners are going to need. You know, give us River Coin on boat with no other way to get there. Although I don't think we've seen wind yet, so still would be problematic.
We have seen shockingly little so far.
Yeah. 11 and a half minutes in. A lot of times, you know, we've got runners in close to go mode. I feel like at this point, sans levels, of course, but wow. Wintry Cave, the 4 chest room, nothing. Only a couple more boxes left in this place, but we can get to them all, so that will be nice.
Looks like 10 is done with P Tower. Looks like Ultimastrike going up.
Ah, well, there you go.
Yeah, there's the River Coin.
Oh, it did
Ultimastrike
look
up
like,
in Aquaria, and I think 10's going to follow. Ultimastrike with a slight lead at the moment.
yeah, it looks like maybe Ice Pyramid was locked behind Wakewater, but presumably Lava Dome will be accessible in that River Coin area. Give us both of them behind there. Let me see that, please. I think that would be fantastic. Everything locked behind Wakewater, which is somehow on the boat.
Our runner's not going to be particularly thrilled with the spells we've found so far. We have Quake, Blizzard, and Fire. The three worst spells that we could have gotten, so unlucky.
Yeah, nothing super useful for Benjamin. Glad we have those jumbo bombs. All I gotta say, oh no, there's Lava Dome hanging out in South Aquaria somehow, almost off the map there. Love to see the interesting positions certain world tiles get into, like when Lava Dome is a hat for somewhere.
Lava Dome is a hat for a boat right now. Ooh, life in a wintry cave, though. That's a big deal, but we do see Firebird pop up. 10 has seed money, so we're going to see a fair bit of that get spent here, if not just all of it.
You know, get them now, get them while they're hot. We don't use money for much else, although the hints are active. We really haven't seen runners use the hints a ton, but I think a big part of that is just how fast a lot of these seeds go. You're not going to go somewhere off path for an item. In most cases, the life spell is, and thank you very much for that, 10, proving me wrong, checking the hints. Captain's Cap, not something he wants to get, though.
I wish it would have said life, because that's probably going to be the next thing he does.
Yeah, just picks it up, right?
Oh, I guess we're going to get some mine action first. Okay.
35 bombs, probably too many to do a gen skip, but with these flags, you may not even need to do a gen skip to get to the large amount of chests that are back there.
And so we have 5 seeds on Ultima's side, 17 on 10's side. So the money tile does put 10 at a seed advantage, but 5 plus some dupes is easily enough to get through a seed.
Yeah, I agree. Especially at this point where you've only got one person really casting spells. You know, you're probably not, I mean, in these flags, you don't take a lot of encounters anyway. So it'll be fine for a while. Hunting for, I'm not sure who. He's seen Phoebe and 10 picking up exit in the back of mine.
Yeah, it picks up exit, but not really going to be giving him too much in the way of time immediately there. Obviously going to pick up something from Lava Dome and from Wintry Cave, but still, I would say a little bit behind where Ultimastrike is right now, because Ultima's done with Wintry. The big difference, though, is going to be those seeds. So the runner's still very, very close.
Oh, yeah. You know, there's, especially with how the seed has routed them, not a lot of opportunity for them to go off to a bunch of different places and do stuff. And I think with Lava Dome sitting right in front of both of them here in the Aquaria area, they're not going to leave it behind without a pretty thorough check on the 21 shard seed.
And we do see a sword picked up. That is our first sword. So we have everything in the way of weapons for access on the basic level. We are missing Mega Grenades and Dragon Claw, which are your third tier of both respective weapons. But otherwise, moving and grooving for our runners. We do see that Aegis Shield, which is huge. Basically paired with the Gaia Armor that gives us protection from everything but confusion and fire. And, you know, those are really nice to have. But we've covered a lot of our potential bases with those particular items right there.
Oh yeah, the runners aren't going to feel like they're going in at a significant defensive disadvantage. You know, that confusion will certainly weigh on their minds some, as we've seen some really mean confusions over the course of this tournament. But yeah, knowing that you've got so much taken care of is nice. I'm just gonna be, wow, yeah, the Lava Domes where a lot of stuff went in the Captain's Cap, so good thing we didn't take that hint. Come on path. Nothing like a nearby box being hinted.
Yeah, it's always fun for sure. And we do see a basic axe as well, not really gonna be of any value.
There's almost every box in that room.
Ultimastrike is up Wintry, but down this one room basically. So I would say Ultimastrike's lead right now is still probably in the 30 to 45 second range, especially as 10 has exit to get back. It also remains to be seen if Ultimastrike is going to end up having to dupe seeds, because each one of those will add a little bit of time back to 10, but again, still extremely close for these two runners. The real big difference, honestly, is that attempted XP fight in Doom Castle for 10. I think that's the 30 seconds right there.
Yeah, on the faster seeds, one thing can really, give you that gap. Especially with how quick some of the items can come or not and push you to another area,
Yeah. All right, we get a mirror. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see ice tonight. We're already at like 15, 16 shards, and ice behind that wake water means probably not on the menu. Sadly.
Yeah, we get an exit out from 10 here, not wanting to traverse multiple rooms on the way back there. There weren't any blockers in the way, so I like this play. It's always a pain to remember, like, are there blockers, are there not? However, does have to traverse a couple of rooms here, I guess, so I thought it was only one room in. So this might actually not be as efficient as I initially thought, since that kind of grand area is buried 2 rooms deep.
Yeah, I wonder if just, feels okay with it because the extra XP we're getting along the path, gives you that extra little bit of potential safety when it does come to the refights. We do see these seeds go in pretty low level on average, so every bit of XP you can find along the way could be the difference. Wow, yeah, that's a lot of blockers tonight.
Yeah, 3 blockers makes that feel a little bit less ideal, for sure.
Since having flashbacks to yesterday with the community feed, where vanilla enemies on path were very frequent. Alright, well, I'm going with lots of stuff.
Yeah, lots of stuff. Ultimastrike now just fully up Wintry Cave as we're routing through here, plus, a couple footsteps through Lava Dome, but otherwise they're kind of taking the same path through here as well.
I think the rest of Lava Dome is going to be locked behind Mega Grenades at this point, though.
I think there might be one more pathway up on the top left. I'm not sure if they both made it that way yet. It might even be both of them on the top left.
Oh, yeah. I can never tell. I don't know what the optimal when you hit the volcano or the Lava Dome lobby is to like hit all of those rooms, because you're gonna want to check them all. But some of them, especially depending on what you've seen, could be several rooms chained together. Okay, yeah, we've got.
I think it depends on if you have claw or not. If you have claw, you can drop down from the right side and kind of just go clockwise with it. Otherwise, I tend to personally go counterclockwise. So it's just one of those things where, for me, it's claw dependent how I route.
Makes sense. 2 different encounter choices here. Blocking the chest, I like that. We get to see both packs of enemies.
Yeah, it looks like we're at 17 fragments on Ultima's side and 14 on 10's side. We do have a 1 to 1.5, I would say, level difference on 10's side, so is up Battlefield and a couple extra encounters in here, so that might make a difference, but not too much of one. Looks like Ultimastrike bailed out of whatever was happening up here and is back over to the main area. I think that there was a red box in that wraparound room, wasn't there? If that's here?
Yep, did not get those megas. Yeah, decided not to come in this far. There were only, what, the 3 boxes plus Hydra here. And just making the decision to... Nope, did remember that there's several boxes back here in level forest. Now that they've got the axe, just going right to it, it looks like.
Yeah, and pretty much everything in here was red, at least that we saw to start. Picks up Thunder Rock, White. I missed what the very first item was, but level 4 is loaded.
Yeah, X-Cal and Apollo Helm as well out of that, so not terrible pickups. 10 taking the Hydra fight. I think this is interesting because of what we saw. 1, 10 does not have the River Coin yet. So 10 is keeping in mind potential like shenanigans, I think, as far as getting to that Firebird region, taking this fight. Now, I'm not sure if he scouted the tile and saw something potentially useful there.
Yeah, not doing Wintry Cave is biting him right now.
Yeah.
But it's the smart play from his perspective. We just have a different perspective.
Right. It also gives him that full recharge, saves him a shard. Oh, that spot is the Ice Pyramid. Okay. So maybe keeping that in mind. And that might actually be... So when he does get River Coin, he'll be able to go right to Ice if he wants to. The problem is everything else is over here as well. So it may not be necessary.
This Hydra's got some nasty AoE to it, though. This is not really going the way that 10 wants it to. Multiple big AoEs, and just being a real pain.
Yeah,
I think this meteor does it, though.
Than he wanted to. Bye-bye, Hydra.
Yeah, it makes sense, though, because like if the Wake Water shows up, you know where Aquaria is, and you know that the Ice Pyramid would unlock off of just the Wake Water. Now, we know that unfortunately for 10, this is not going to work out. Ultima is not just ahead, but now also picks up seeds as well. So it has a couple of dungeons, basically, on 10 at this point. Is at 18 of their 21 required shards. And I think 10 might have just forgotten about Wintry. Is going back to do some warps, it looks like, as well.
I think so. It was the first or second tile in the Aquaria region. So when you're doing a quick scan like that, unless you're already tiles to the left, you have to deliberately scroll over there to see what's there. And out of sight, out of mind, as they say. I think is a very easy thing to do, especially with Location Shuffle, keeping track of it all. There we go.
Yeah, and sees it now and is going to be like, oh, oopsie kitty. Which is his way of saying, I done screwed up.
Right. Nothing behind Flamerous tonight. So this could still, I mean, we've got a live forest accessible here in the Firebird region, but it doesn't look like Bone Dungeon is going to have enough shards to finish Ultimastrike's 21 count to get that Sky Coin.
No, but we have Ice Pyramid available, so it's not going to be...
Well, Ultimastrike does not have Ice Pyramid available, because Ultimastrike did not kill the Hydra, and it is in the locked tile behind this area, so... But does have a live forest, so...
Gotcha, yeah. So that is the Hydra tile. That makes sense.
Yeah, I wonder if Tin saw that and that was another sort of reason to pull the trigger on that Hydra fight. This seed was a little weird with how, I mean, almost everything of real finishing, like you need that River Coin, you need to get to that Firebird area because so much just rolled over there, it looks like.
We do see the tree coming into play here. This is almost certainly going to give us the last of our shards for Ultimastrike. Only needs one more.
Yeah.
Well, 10 is at 17, so is 3 shards down and... Yeah, needs to play catch-up here.
Yep, and I mean, we could certainly see, we've seen Dark King and the boss rush be mean, to put it nicely, to runners. You know, the and a DK can do their best to stymie even well-prepared runners. Got a bunch of good spells for rocking. All right, there we go. Number 21 on Ultima side.
Yeah, we have the
11.
Yeah, level 11, but we have that ninja encounter available, so
Yeah, we
not
do.
too bad. I wonder if we were just taking a quick peek for a Cupid locket there, remembering that that chest existed for Ultimastrike. Also
Yeah,
taking that free heal since we're limited on seeds.
yeah, especially like, why not hit that box up if you're coming back for that rest? It's a good play. Don't want to leave a potential easy Cupid locket lying around. And yeah, like you said, heading right into that encounter, we'll be able to get some XP here. Got this sword that Tin wanted. This is what I feel like the dungeons love to do if you get close to the shard count, is give you a bunch of red boxes that are all those things that you don't need. You know, no shards. Got an extra sword, here's an extra crest. Maybe he'll get arrow.
The thing for 10 is they don't have a spell for Benjamin. So Ultimastrike went to Bone Dungeon and picked up White and Flare. 10 is an ice pyramid, which means, well, they have no damage for their Benjamin, and won't find it here unless it's Meteor.
Yep.
So the routing of choosing Bone Dungeon, which is generally the air quote easier of the dungeons, is definitely going to pay off here, despite being less dense. So Ultimastrike's routing, and you kind of alluded to this as well, that you know, Ultimastrike, their routing through these seeds has been really good throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with just how many practice seeds Ultima has run. I know, been paying attention to where things have been, and just what makes the most sense to them. And I like the Bone Dungeon over the other areas play. It's definitely not as dense, but like you said, certainly a bit easier and way less floors to navigate than most of the other dungeons. So I do like that play, and it paid off here for sure, with damage spells and those final shards needed. 10 did get Meteor, so not lacking a damage spell anymore for Benjamin. There we go. 21 for 10. And the Cupid locket. What else could we be? Oh, still more spells probably on 10's side, because he does not know where Flare and White are. And Meteor a bit slow. Ultimastrike through the arguably easiest part of the boss rush. Those first two bosses can be exited, you know, so you miss out on the XP, but you do get a quick kill on them if you don't have a Dragon Claw or anything else to do sort of shenanigans with. Now on to the two harder fights, Slimhead Wyvern and Zuh, both of which can be particularly mean. You know, we do have a good defenses in general, but still pretty low level. You know, 15, not as high as, you know, certainly you would take a vanilla approach to this. But we do have life on Benjamin, so able to, you know, juggle any of that as necessary. 10 taking this ninja fight again. It looks like maybe pushing to 16 before going into the boss rush, just for some extra spell usage, HP. And yeah, as Retrospective in chat pointing out, if DK has a confused move, 10 has a potential advantage there with that Cupid locket, I believe. But otherwise, you know, Ultimate is 2 fights up right now. 2 pretty easy ones. We see 10 taking another grind fight. Did not hit 16 on that ninja the second time, so maybe this will get him there. Time for Zuh. Oh, paralyzed on PB, not particularly great. Again, life spell coming in, very clutch. Unless you have to continuously cast it, I guess. Zuh yeah, some nasty physical there out of Zuh. Smart double life. Keep yourself healed up. There you go. There's a move you don't mind seeing. One you are completely immune to. Projectile weakness roll. Coming in handy, it looks like. Oh, interesting. I'm not sure what the zone into confusion, confusion into doom. I'm not sure exactly what all of the effective resists are against this Skullerus. I'm surprised we're not just exiting it. Again, maybe hoping for some XP out of it, rather than letting it go to the wayside and just using up an exit charge. Yes, sticking around. Getting there slowly but surely. There goes the jerk bird. On to DK, where you know, the boss will do what it can to stop Ultimastrike here. Gonna be able to pick up some seeds and head in. As we mentioned, only missing that confusion resistance. So if DK comes out with some confused moves, this could be a pretty tricky fight. We do, again, have life on Benjamin and our companion, as well as lots of damage options. So probably won't be too bad, but you never know what the boss is going to throw at you. Phase 2 quickly, not too strange to see that. DK's first phase doesn't usually have a lot, and we see the lovely self phase change due to a drain move. So DK just helping push himself right along. Doesn't I think affect his overall HP, so we might see a very long phase 3 here, but always funny to see.
Yeah, always funny to see that that swap over, because you can't change phases until you've acted at least one time in each individual phase, and that action can be a drain move, so it's very humorous when it happens. Tying back to the boss refights, what they were going for was silence to paralysis, so trying to inflict para on all of the bosses and get as much or as many free turns as possible. Since silence, whatever it rolls into, you can inflict on all 4 refights.
Okay, that's a smart thing. Yeah, the definitely a lot of technical ways you can use the claws with those resists to gain turns that are, you know, good to keep in mind, but more than my brain can store.
Well, that's why you have a handy-dandy cheat sheet.
This is true.
Looks like Ultimastrike is already on to Tier 4 of Razdorak, the Dark King, and not only onto Tier 4, but I guess onto Tier 5, as they are the winner of Game 1 with an official time of 37 minutes and 6 seconds. So GG's to Ultima, bucking the trend, actually picking up a win in Game 1.
Right, yeah. As you mentioned earlier in the race, has got here through some best of threes where they had to fight back after losing Game 1. But here, yeah, clinching it pretty well. Again, we pointed out a lot of those very smart routing choices that Ultima seems to have been able to be making in these races, and certainly paying off in this one. You know, hitting up the rope bridge early to get that sand coin, and then heading into Wintry Cave early in the Aquaria region and really getting a lot of direction from that enabled them to just keep gaining on 10. We see 10 in here does have Confuse Resist on top of everything else, so I'm sure this will be even breezier, although only going to have this Meteor spell coming out.
Yeah, again, it's very nice for our runners that Meteor, Flare, and White are all unresisted against Dark King. So as long as you had one, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, not very common in these seeds. Usually it's the other way around, where one of the spells you have will do full damage, and you're hoping you find it, and that your companion has it, so that you can make that Dark King fight as short as possible. Rocks falling from the sky. 46 damage is not particularly threatening out of that Dark King.
Yeah, this is a Dark King that's kind of just a pile of HP and not much else.
Yep, hasn't been doing a ton. Certainly the Zuh fight was a bit more challenging, as it has been on a number of these seeds where Zuh really does what they can do to be a jerk bird. On to the final form here for 10. Not too many hits left, surely.
I think Phase 4 took 4 spells for Ultima, maybe 5. It was thicker than expected, but again, we just haven't seen anything out of Dark King that's like scary.
Yeah. None of those big hits or, just, I mean, at this point, that's all that would really deter 10 with all those status resists for the most part. And there we go. GG's 10. Taking down Dark King. Both
yeah, so 10.
Oh.
10 with an official time of 40 minutes and 30 seconds. So just over a 3-minute difference between the runners. And they also are going to be coming back for Game 2, which is going to kick off in basically exactly 10 minutes time from now.
Yeah, so perfect time to get up, stretch your legs, take a drink if you need to. The runners are going to be on our screens here. They'll be setting up for the next race. In reality, they're running it right now. We're on that 10-minute delay. So yeah, perfect time. Take a little break, and we'll be back with you very shortly.